So hello everyone and welcome into the bye week edition of the Jets franchise. So coming out of the bye week, the New York Jets currently sit at 2-1 on the season. And we know that in week 1, John Wolford led the big upset victory over the Buffalo Bills. And in week 2, another upset was had. The Jets end up going into Hard Rock Stadium and win against the Miami Dolphins, 30-21. An overall really good game. John Wolford does need to kind of cool it with the turnovers, as he and Tua both had 2 interceptions. However, the good thing for Wolford is he did have 2 touchdowns of his own. So Tua and the Dolphins so far struggling in Tua's first full year as the starter. Definitely going to be interesting to monitor how that goes, as the Dolphins and Bills both have gotten off to really slow starts on the year, both 1-3 at the moment. However, in week number 3 against the Patriots came into MetLife Stadium, and those damn Patriots got the Jets again. Cam Newton in his second year here in New England, they go ahead and get the big win. The Patriots currently sitting at 3-1 at the top of the division, which is really interesting because they took J.C. Horn in the first round of this draft, and I was kind of thinking that they were probably going to be trading Stephon Gilmore. However, if they keep winning, maybe they'll keep him. It seems that the improvements they made at wide receiver, bringing in Corey Davis and Curtis Samuel and having Julian Edelman come back, have really been paying off. However, one good thing that did come from this loss, Quinnen Williams ended the game with 3 picks, and Falaransu Fadukasi, our defensive lineman, ended up getting an interception on Cam. So always fun to see a big man interception, though John Wolford did throw another pick in this game. Hopefully he starts to cool down with how many interceptions he's throwing. But regardless, not too much to complain about. The Jets currently second in the division behind those Patriots, and then the Dolphins and Bills have had some real slow starts to the year, both at 1-3. Now, I want to highlight some of the other teams in the league, not necessarily in our division. So first here, I wanted to talk about the New Orleans Saints. You know, we traded the Saints Sam Darnold, and Darnold's been doing good. The Saints currently at the top of the division for 2-2, tied with the Falcons, which I think we're getting closer to Zach Wilson potentially starting for those Falcons. But regardless, the Saints at 2-2, Sam Darnold with 1,200 yards on the year, 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions so far. He's had an excellent start to his young career with the Saints, and that's really what we wanted to see. You know, we traded him away, but that doesn't mean that you can't be excited for what the young guy can do, especially over there with Sean Payton. And then another interesting note, the Carolina Panthers, we hold their first round pick this season, so how they do is pretty important, and they've had a really bad start to the year. They are currently 1-3. Their one win was a huge upset over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. However, the Bucs also have started slow at 1-3, but Justin Fields has had a rough start with 880 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks so far through the first 4 weeks. Hopefully he can improve. I really like Justin Fields personally coming out of the draft, so hopefully he can do a little bit better for them. And then just something funny that I found, the New York Giants ended up taking Mac Jones, and they're currently 3-1, just got their first loss of the season to the Dallas Cowboys last week, and Mac Jones with 1,000 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions on the year. So Daniel Jones had a problem fumbling the football, and Mac Jones has way too many interceptions so far through the year, though interceptions are quite high on the season, as you can see. Now let's go ahead and talk exclusively about the New York Jets. So George Fant has had a pretty rough start to the season with 3 sacks in the first 3 weeks. However, the Jets are willing to give him another chance. He's looked good in practice. He's developed with a progression tool here, so we're going to give him another chance. And if he sucks, then Brady Christensen is going to go ahead and take that starting spot, so hopefully he does well. George Fant wasn't terrible last season, so hopefully he does a little bit better down the stretch for this season. And then the big man, Kyle Pitts, arguably the best offensive player from this year's last draft class. Now, he went through last week. He did not have a single touch of the football, which was something that immediately after the game, Robert Saleh and offense coordinator Mike LaFleur said they gotta change, they gotta fix. You know, they really believe that if Kyle Pitts got more involved, they might have had a higher chance of actually beating the Patriots last week. So hopefully that comes into fruition. He's developing insanely nicely. Shout out the progression tool, and hopefully he continues to be good, because I mean, if he continues to struggle and not really get targets, then was it really worth making that trade down to get him and not instead maybe grabbing a future franchise quarterback like a Zach Wilson if he pans out for the Falcons? And even Justin Fields, though he's had a slow start to the year, that doesn't mean he's going to be bad necessarily. So hopefully Kyle Pitts and this team kind of start to turn around and he starts to get utilized a little bit more. And then looking at Falaranzu Fatukasi, he's a guy that developed really nicely last season under Greg Williams, and that development has continued under Robert Saleh. So really exciting stuff. Now, the one thing of note, his contract is up at the end of the year, so it'll be an interesting discussion to see if the Jets bring him back, especially with Quinnen Williams there. And then Mekhi Becton continuing to develop. Hopefully he just continues to be that franchise tackle that the Jets have needed. And now I wanted to talk about the man, the myth, the legend, the man the Jets traded up for, Trey Lance. We've heard good things about Lance coming out of training camp, or out of practice, I shouldn't say training camp, but he's looked good, apparently. And he's continued to develop, and Robert Saleh likes what he's seeing out of him, but as of right now, there aren't any plans to start him, and I think that's fair. I don't think it's very real to think that the Jets will just throw Trey Lance in there, especially right now. You know, the season just got off to the start, and the Jets are currently 2-1 and don't look too bad here, so it wouldn't be surprising if they continue to roll with John Wolford, and unless the wheels kind of fall off the wagon, I wouldn't be surprised if Trey Lance doesn't start at all. Now, Saleh and Mike LaFleur have confirmed that the plan is to start Trey Lance Week 17 unless it's a do-or-die for a playoff spot. So I don't necessarily think that the Jets are going to make the playoffs this season. I don't even know if that's really their goal. I mean, they've got that Carolina Panthers pick and different things like that. So I think it's fair to say that Trey Lance is going to be the starter Week 17, and it'll be awesome to get to see him, even if the game is fairly meaningless. It'll just be good to see how a whole year of development does for him. But regardless, that's it for this edition of Jets Football. The bye week is over. In the next episode, you guys will see wherever we take off, whether it be at the trade deadline or maybe a little bit past. And hopefully, you know, the team keeps winning. And if not, hopefully Trey Lance gets his opportunity soon. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.